Let me see. Remove this. So let me check. So we're going to, I'm working with the EKS Workshop V2. If you want to contribute, it's open source. The license is Apache license 2.0. Actually, there's not much code. Yeah, there's much code in here. You want to get started, fork the repo, clone the repo, and then open a text editor or IDE. Usually what I do is to get started, you can run this in your own account in AWS. So get an AWS account that is set up, and then basically configure your AWS CLI, and then there's a make file. And there's some docs. You want to read the docs of authoring content. It has information about how we use Make and Terraform and the web server to run the website. So the website is live on eksworkshop.com. If you're watching, drop a message so I know. I think I'm in Twitch. I don't know if these channels are working or not. I'm live. Let me check Twitch. Yeah, I'm live. Cool. What about Twitter? Twitter is not working, I think. Oh, yeah, I'm working there. And YouTube, I'm not sure. Anyway, to get started, there's a, I was saying, clone the repo. There's a make file. If you want to deploy the infrastructure, like creating EKS cluster, Kubernetes cluster, and some of the other aspects of it, I think it creates a database for an example, security groups, a Cloud9. You just run make, like I did here. Make, create infrastructure. This would take about 15 minutes, and then you will have something that you can copy paste in here to get the kubectl, and then you can be able to do get namespaces, for example. Namespaces will show up there. So I just did it. 15 minutes. It's up. If you go to your AWS account, Elastic Kubernetes Service, you have something that looks like this, EKS Workshop, and also you should have a Cloud9. Cloud9, see, in here. And then you can say open. And this is basically what we do with end customers when we run the workshop with them. We give them an environment, and we go through the whole workshop or sort of portion. So I'm working today on the automation section, GitOps, Crossplane and Crossplane, planning to add a section here on nested compositions. Let me go back to the Cloud9. So this is Cloud9. You can open a new terminal, or usually do it up here if you want. And then everything should be set up. So you should have, I think this version I set up K. Let me see if it works. Set up. Anyway, got namespaces or alias K, but I have a PR. I think that's what it is. I have a PR to make K work with auto-completion. And then you have the files in here, manifest modules that you'll be working as you do the exercises. For example, using Argo to initialize Argo, deploy an app, and all that. But if you want to edit this website, it's using Markdown, and then what you can do is, I have another terminal here, is run make serve. It should run docu, what we call it, docusarios. Docusarios. We use that framework. Converts Markdown, and then it should open locally. So if you make a change to something, so I was working on compositions or anything, and then you go to docs, and then you'll be able to find the URL. Make this bigger. I don't think this matter. The markdown file here, you can edit and it will live reload. So as you make changes to the thing. So for example, if I go to control planes and I want to change some command, some markdown file, you can make a change here. So if I change, in addition to provisioning, if I want to say test debug, save it, it should auto reload there at the bottom, and it's test debug. And then you submit a PR if you find something in the docs that is easy. You don't have to even deploy the infrastructure or anything. Just like run make serve, change the markdown file, and submit a PR for a typo or something to the repo. I think that's it. That's how to get started working. Oh, so another thing is the shard environment. If you don't like to, or when you're making changes to the Cloud9 environment, we have a shell to emulate that here. So where is it here? So you can do make shell. I don't have Docker, so I'm using Finch with the PR that I submitted, but it'll be merged soon. I think it's merge. If you set export container Finch, and you do make shell, this will build an image. If it's already built, it will go very fast. And then it will give you, you're basically inside a container with everything set up. So all the scripts are here. There's a hack shell. You can look at the make file. The make file shell runs the shell. The shell is a hack shell here, and it runs the Docker build with a container CLI, Finch, or Docker. If you have Docker, then you set up. If you don't have Docker, get the latest version of Finch. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when I say Finch, GitHub Finch, say container CLI, similar as Spotman and Docker and all that stuff. But this is maintained by AWS right now under an org called runfinch. I think there's not much in here. But yeah, it's behind the scenes. It's just in Colima. It's just in NerdCTL. You can also use Colima. Use Colima, it works. So I'm running it. Yeah, live. I should put that back. The change that I did before I forget. If you want to add a section, for example, you have to like stop the web server and then add it. So I can revert this. You can take a look how it used to look like. So I'm going to add a section on Crossplane nested compositions. It should not be there. Second. Yeah, it's not there. So if I add it, it will not show up. Just I need to. It shows live changes on the files I already knows, but new files you have to add them. So under compositions, I'll make a copy, rename it to compositions. B, I'll make this one nested compositions. And I don't need all this. Browser. The load balancer, yeah, it's not needed. But it will not. Oh, it showed up. It didn't show up earlier. Okay. But instead of 30, these are numbered 1, 5, positions 30, resources 20. So I wanted the bottom, so I'll do 40. So that's it. Here. Okay. So next thing I was going to do is this make shell is. Oh yeah. So inside this make shell, you can do get namespaces. And it should come back. I don't know why this is low from my computer and then super fast from here. I guess. Oh, I deploy maybe to a region. How long this thing takes? I keep. Oh, get namespaces. Something I was debugging. 1 second. And then from here, why is it taking so long? I thought it was something I did and it broke, but it looks like it's not. Is it because I don't know, my network at home, or that I deployed to 16 seconds? Huh. I thought it was a bug. But as you can see, it takes 1 second here. Maybe the region. I'm in the East Coast, US, and this is in the West Coast. But man, 12 seconds. Weird. I will need to debug that. What's that happening? We create an EC2 instance or Cloud9 in the East Coast, and then test it, and then see this is my network. Anyway, if you want to know how to contribute, you can do that. Also, you can use this DocuStar setup if you are, I don't know, a partner or somebody doing training inside your company. You can use the whole thing, change the colors of the website, maybe change the modules. We have auto scaling, observability, add modules, remove modules. I did today. I went into Netlify, or it basically DocuStar builds a HTML website. But I went to Netlify on my fork, and then just these settings. So when I was building Netlify, the basis folder is website. It's going to build a build folder if you run this command. So that's what Netlify is going to build. It's no more than downloading Netlify build.sh to download the right version of kubectl for. We have something cool that does rendering of the YAML files. So it shows you the delta. So let me see. In the automation, your Argo CD updating. So this rendering, this trick here, that it would highlight this thing. So this YAML file has a comment here, highlight this line. Or if you're comparing, let's see, an overlay. Where is an overlay? It will tell you what are the things that is going to change the delta. Where's a good example of this? Maybe it's the introduction. There it is. So it'll give you the patch, the deployment, and then this is the nice thing, the diff. So with a customized overlay, you do a patch, which this is the patch. You want to set it to 3 replicas, and then it show you this. And the frame rate is very nice. Another thing that this thing has is for every command that you do, if it starts with a $sign, that's why it gets copied. If you have multiple of them, all of them get copied at the same time. If you want to show the output, then you don't put a $sign, and that will not be copied. Something that a lot of tutors don't do. I think Neil is the person that worked on this, nailed this. The other thing that is this has automation testing. So there's a GitHub action somewhere here, like end-to-end test. Basically, this runs, for example, where is it? Run test, right? There's a make test. So if you do a make test, it runs test, and this is a container that will parse the markdown file, look for the bash. Now there's the docs here. Let me see. Maybe that will explain it better. Automate test. So if you can run this from a CI, so actually testing the documentation. So it's running the commands, and if they return 0, it has a section. So you can put in your bash scripts. Basically, you put bash, and it will run. And then it has hooks to, if you have a script, you can put a show script that does something before and after. So you can put the hook here. So you put a show script with an after function, with a before function, and will run. You can disable the test. You can put a timeout if something takes a long time to run, like a kubectl command, or deploy something. For example, deploying RDS takes like 10 minutes. It's pretty neat. This is pretty neat. I really like this way. So it has automation testing. So I was going to say, you can take this framework and build your own lab. You have a meeting now? Check. No meeting. Yeah, I really like this. And then, yeah, from my fork that I did, I went to Netlify. Netlify. It can be anything. It can be GitHub Actions, a web server, an S3 bucket. It basically, if you want to do it, you can go in here. The reason I'm doing this window is because I have kubectl version 1.23 for now. You need a specific version. I only have it in this window. If you go to the website folder and you run the command, Netlify was running was build, run this script. I think it was Netlify build. It's just npm run build. So an npm install from that folder. So I'm in the website, there's an npm package, and then you can run npm build, and this will build you a static website that you serve. But I did it today on this one. Put it in the wrong one. I need to move this. I'll do it later today. So basically, I pointed to the folder, said that the Netlify the thing from my fork, and I think that's it. Domain settings. You can set a domain or not. You give a domain, but after that, then you can go to gitops.how. That's a domain name I bought the other day, and then I'll be putting, at least on this one, I'm thinking putting advanced GitOps labs in here. I have my own version. Maybe change the color a little bit, make it blue or something like that, or green. And I think that's it. If I go back, I don't know why this takes 16 seconds. I'm still worried, but I want to find out. So yeah, nested composition. Let me do that. I don't have a lot of time. I don't know if anyone is watching live. I think somebody put a comment. I should see it. Let's see. Twitch. My channel. Chat. No, nothing there. Anyway, I haven't done StreamYard streaming in a long time. And this is a new monitor, which it looks very tiny. The text can make it bigger. Anyway, let me do something to have a baseline. So I was going to do compositions. So basically, this is talking about Crossplane. And this thing broke. Oh, because I'm not running my thing. So Crossplane is similar as AC. We have labs for ACK and Crossplane, but um, Crossplane has compositions. Um, Basically, allows you to create multiple resources in a basically you're creating your CRDs at the end of the day. Creating CRDs in Kubernetes with your own custom resource that you define on whatever it is. So in my case, our app, Watch app, has a catalog microservice. You can say like a container, some Java code that talks to SQL database, and then Crossplane will deploy the RDS. So if we go in here, I already have a composition that has a relational database. So what I want to do is create another composition that is composed of this composition and the catalog app, which I'm going to package in Helm. And Helm is Helm is not installed. To figure out how to install Helm provider. This is what I was. Anyway, I'll play with it and see how it ends. So this is the definition of the API that you want to create. It's almost like a portion of your CRDs. You're doing CRDs in Kubernetes. You're putting the specification what goes into a claim or an XR. It doesn't have to be a claim. It could be just an XR and doesn't have this section. But it'll be a global object. Claim is a namespace object. So if we run this, I'm going to run it here in the Cloud9. Let me close this one. Oh, now I decided to go all the way to the bottom. I run that, and that should came that fast. Fine. So that created me the definition, and then let me grab the autocomplete hack that I did. Where is that? I did it in prepare.sh. I think it's this portion. And then I can do it here. Let's see. Source. Home.bash profile. UK get P. Yeah, it's autocomplete. Okay, so now get X should give me CRD I just created. I created a relational database. I created CRD. Okay, get CRDs, grab X. Okay, something. Here it is. Oh, it looks weird because it's this guy. Why autocompletion didn't work? Let's we. Because it's that's the API group. I think mine thing I call it was X relational irrelational databases. I don't know. Maybe because there's no. Oh, maybe there's no resource. Yeah, because if I do, what I was trying to do was get thing, and there's nothing. It's one. No resource found. Anyway, so that's the definition, and then we want to deploy the composition, which is three things: a DB subnet group, because you need that to tell RDS in which subnets you want to in your VPC, you want to connect this RDS database, like the ENI from the database. At the end of the day, this is running an EC2 with the software that has ENIs, just like NICs. Then it looks super small, I think. Anyway, haven't done live streaming in a while, and this is a new monitor. Then security groups. Basically, you can set security groups that are like firewalls in air quotes. And you're telling it, I'm going to put in this RDS a security group saying like, I'm going to allow ingress traffic only from port 3306 to port, basically one port to one port, and then it's going to be TCP, and it must come from an IP address that is in the CIDR of the VPC. So nothing, if there's nothing, you can make it more restrict, but in this case, only stuff from the VPC, which is the EKS cluster. And then last is, it doesn't matter the order, all then get reconciled at the same time, and if they have interdependencies. So for example, I have a inner dependency, where is it? Basically put in the, where do I specify the security group? Oh, here it is. So the security group, I'm not patching it. I'm saying like, oh, if you find in this controller or this created by the composition, go ahead and match that. That's the one I want. And then if I want a DB subnet group, oh, here it is. I don't specify it specifically. I say like, I'm creating a DB subnet group in this composition. Go ahead and grab it. So I don't need the name, the reference. I don't need to patch it or anything. That's super cool. One of the coolest features of the Crossplane. So it has the pros and cons. So be like a lot of YAML that you're like kind of programming, kind of like doing a controller via declarative, which is cool. Bad because there's no breakpoints. But anyway, so it would create three CRs, and then these are like the logic, how you modifying like a template or the starting point on that. So let's do that. And then the reason I'm using customize K is because I need to replace some values. So this value comes from the environment variable. This one comes from the environment variable. So if I do the YAML like this, it will not work. So just be aware you're working with this workshop framework. These things are to be replaced. So in our workshop, we replace and customize, which you can also replace with a shell script or Helm if you do Helm. But I think we're going to do Helm in the future. So let's do this one. Run apply here. And it should create me a composition. So I haven't created a database yet. So if I go to the cloud, where is it? Go to RDS. You should have one database that was created by the workshop for another. I think it's the one using security, showing that concept of like, actually showing the concept of not security group, not on the database, but a security group saying like, I'm going to allow only traffic from this other security group, which is associated to a pod. So that's like pod security group. That's in the EKS workshop. I think security, pod security standards. Yeah, I think it's this one. No, wait, but this is PSA. Securing secrets using sealed, or it was the networking one. Oh, here it is. Security groups. It's on the networking. Yeah, It's hard to decide where to put a lab, right? This is security and networking can go in either. So this is the concept that you have a pod, it has a security group, and you want to say like, I'm going to only allow SQL traffic to my database only from these pods, right? And then pods come and go, come and go, but they will have labels or they belong to um, a deployment, but those pods will only be able to talk to the thing. So other pods will not be able to talk to. But anyway, that's why we create one for that lab. In our lab, we want to create the database. So let me go to the Cloud9. So the composition is created, and then I need to create a claim. Create a claim. Claim. So this is a claim. So this is basically what the first two you do at once, and then this one is how many data we want. 15 databases, then create 15 kubectl applies, or Argo or Flux. So I'm going to specify the name of the database, which is catalog. That's the app. Expecting that name, the size. Where do I want this, which I put in my composition? Where do I want the secret information? Not secret, but the connection information, the endpoint, the username, password. And then this one, I would recommend not to put it in production. Like, do not allow people to modify which is the provider config. This is something that you do, but to make it simple for people getting started and learning this stuff, you can control it from here. So when you're debugging, it's good to have it here. But when we're not debugging, maybe block it with Gatekeeper or Kubernetes mutation webhook, or just not define it at all. Like in the composition, get it from an environment config, which might be a concept we can add here. Environment configs. Let's deploy the alias. Let me see. I don't think anyone is watching live. I think this gets in Twitch. It gets saved for X amount of time, I think. And YouTube, I don't know if I'm deploying to YouTube. Twitter, I don't know. Maybe it stays there. Flux source controllers have supported S3 source years. Oh, it says not found. It's an error. Oh, I know. Because when you start the thing, we need to. Oh shoot! I don't want to reset the whole thing. I want to deploy just the app. Yeah. So in normal circumstances, you run this, which is you find the script that is here. It does a bunch of stuff. It deletes a bunch of things. Takes a while. I don't want to do that. Or maybe it takes a while when I did it from my shell, which takes 16 seconds to do something. But I don't want to have people wait here. So I will, where's the absolute path? Module, workspace manifest. So I'll deploy the app through here. We'll do YOLO. So we'll do K, apply, -K. Basically, the files are here, manifest, and there's customization.yaml. So It's under workspace. Why autocomplete doesn't work? Oh no. Yeah, it's a pain. Like that case for customize, and it doesn't know that the next thing for autocomplete is a file. It could be a URL, it could be anything. Well, the other one. Anyway. Manifest. I'm not change it. Money. Manifest. And then I change the K and then should deploy that. Okay. So the app should be deployed. Super fast. Oh, I didn't do the reset. I'll do the reset later. So the app is running, the catalog is there. I can run the command again to deploy the claim because the claim is namespaced. So the claim now is created. So if you do okay, describe relational database, it will say there's nothing because it's the default namespace, but you say end catalog or -A, capital A for the lazy is in the catalog, and it will say that it will start like it found the composite so basically the default policy is delete, but you can also configure like orphan. There's a new management policy, like if you delete the claim, don't delete the database. Something that you would do in production, in development, you delete the claim, delete the database. And then it says like, who can implement this? Oh, this composite can implement this. And then it says, offer successful apply the composite. So you're creating a composite at the end of the day. So the claim creates the composite, which is global. So if you do get X relation, now it works. That this one is global. So the composition here is ready is false because it's creating is true. If you want to get the details, you can do -O YAML, and you can see here ready false. Why? Because it's creating. It's creating, and this is on the XR. So it's not, this one is not detecting it's creating a database, just detecting that it's creating the DB instance. So if you go to resource refs, oh, this is under spec. Interesting. Yeah, this is what the composition does. So these are the references. So it has three things: DB subnet group, security group, DB instance. And then this is the guy that if you do a get DB instance, because there's like two of them. Let's see. I think there's two. There's DB instances, DB instances, DB instances. These two are from Crossplane. This is RDS. This is document DB, which is document my Mongo, yeah, document NoSQL. And then this one is ACK. So I didn't know, but the one that I want is this one. Boom. So sync is true. It has all the YAML that it needs, but it's ready is false. So if you do it YAML or describe, you should see that is type is ready, true, available. Oh, it's already available? Let's see. It's not available a minute ago. True. Oh, so this time, yeah, I'm impatient. So if I do week here, there's a database RDS created with YAML. Ooh, magical. This is simple stuff. It gets tricky when you're doing stuff with production and there's like database in there, and then you have to do doesn't see or backup and restores and all that stuff. I did a talk. It's on YouTube on that. So I think that's what I want to do. So nested composition. So now I want to create a claim that creates a database, but I don't want to like duplicate like these three resources. I want to create a claim that has both the app. I want to deploy because now I need to redeploy the app. So that's the main thing, like the catalog, to use the new secrets that this thing created. So if I go through the example, what's the other thing? So this thing worked. The claim was created. This is like waiting, which is the 5 minutes that we waited. And then there's a secret, right, that has the three values: the endpoint, the password, the port, the username. Now the catalog is deployed, but it's not using catalog DB composition. I wanted to use that. So for example, I'm using Customize to patch it. So if I go to modules, automation, control planes, crossplane, compositions, application, there's a patch that I'm going to do. I'm going to do patch deployment on the catalog that I deployed, and the patch is, modify these container environment variables. So they're already there. You don't believe me, they're here. Let me open this one in one tab, and then this one in another tab. Can I move this to the side? Where did my terminal went? Oh, here. How do I put my terminal at the bottom? No. Split in two rows, split panel in two columns. Two rows? Okay, it's at the bottom. I can move this one here. Good. And now I want to move this one. I guess I can do it like that. Actually, that's what I want. So this one has DB user, so it's using this secret, right? The same namespace. I want to use this one that has the information. So if I do get secret and boom, it should be there, and it has the connection information. So if I patch that thing and I guess bounce it, but once you, anyway, I did it. I added that because of when I'm debugging and redoing it. So if you copy that command, paste it here, copy all the three commands. That's not nice. I don't have to copy paste 3 times. So now the new one is using that secret. If you want to test the app, it's a little watch app. This created a load balancer for it. I think I had it here. Put this at the top. This one here. There's not much noise. So I deploy a EUI network load balancer, which is a load balancer that is listening to the UI. And that takes a little bit of time to create. So there's a little wait for the load balancer script. So like I said, if you want to use this framework, all these little tricks and little utilities to run a workshop, they're awesome. So I can put this one here. So that's the URL. I can do the wait, which is like 5 minutes. Maybe it's done right now. So it's waiting. What it's doing is just grabbing the URL and doing HTTP and doing a for loop, like simple bash script. So while that's up, I can do what I wanted to do. So I wanted to add a composition of like another composition, and I'm thinking a Helm, but now I'm regretting it. Maybe I deploy. What do I need to deploy? I could deploy, I want to patch the app that is already running or redeploy it. I can add customize controller, but I don't want to add that. I'm going to just Helm. So I go back to website. What am I doing again? Oh, yeah, the files are here. Workspace, modules, automation, control planes, crossplane. So I added this folder, app.db. They're empty. I want to deploy the app, and I want to do the DB. So the composition should be. So maybe I make this one Kubernetes, and then this one. I don't know what to name things. That's the most difficult thing. So I'm going to put the Helm in here, and I'm going to put the Crossplane stuff in here, but it's going to deploy this. So maybe this one, I just Crossplane. Maybe I name this one nested. Nested things. Or maybe put it. But I need the. I need to. The claim needs to have the unique name, the composition, and the claim. App.db app. For now. Put the Helm here. I'll put the composition here. Maybe that's what I tend to do. Composition, which needs a customized thing, goes here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Claim, the folder, the claim, and then definition, I'll put it flat. So I'll create the definition, which I'm going to steal from here. It's going to be the same thing. It's just now instead of the database is going to deploy the app and the database both together, and going to make it wait to deploy the database, and then I'm going to create a dependency to wait the whatever 5 minutes whenever the database is ready, and then deploy the app. That way the app doesn't come up and doesn't have a database. I have to bounce it. That's what I want to teach. Based. So this one is the same, but I'm not going to call it the same way because it's not database. I'm going to call this one, I don't know what to call it, app-db. And this one, default composition, I'm going to call it the same way. This guy, I'm going to call it app, the database, and then plural, I don't know, app.dbs. And then this one without the X's. And that's just a convention from Crossplane. Hope my mic is working. I'll be talking here for 20 minutes. Anyway. XDB, AppDB, DB, V1, and then this is the same information for the database, or I can just hide it. Maybe I hide this information. Maybe the person doesn't need to know about the database. I'm maybe choosing for them. Maybe maybe I'm choosing what should be the size. So the only thing that need to provide me is the namespace, but I can grab the namespace from the claim wherever I'm deploying the claim. Let me think about it. What do they need to specify? What do they need to specify? The namespace? No, the namespace already. I guess they don't have to specify anything. Maybe specify the name of the app. Maybe catalog. Oh, the catalog is the one in this database. Maybe this guy is just catalog. 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 Oh, but I can make it. Yeah, I can make it generic. Like I can make it. I don't want. I don't want to cross boundaries if they want to create it. Whatever. Yeah, because if I allow people to create catalogs in other namespaces, then I have to deal with the RBAC, or they can deploy to any namespace. I don't want that. I want to like. I'm going to give you a namespace foobar. You're going to create a claim in there, and it's going to create a catalog microservice with a database for that. And then if somebody wants to use you, they can point to the service. Yeah, that's what I want. Have like written an architecture diagram on this before. And served through referenceable to, so there's no properties. So that doesn't have properties. Maybe the resource config. So I don't need the secret. Do I need the secret where I'm going to read from? No, because that's an output that I can pass to the. I can pass that to the. Let me think. No, because I can. They don't have to give me anything. Maybe the size. Maybe I leave it the size of the database to be nice. The secret. But I'm going to deploy the app. I don't need the secret. I can handle that internally because I'm going to create the secret. And I'm going to pass that. I can choose the name and I can pass that to the app. The database name. I can choose. Oh no. The database I need because this app. I remember the problem with this app. This app is configured like this, picking up the catalog from here. But that I can control. And then this stuff doesn't need to be there. So where's the DB name coming from? Where's the DB name? DB name. Yeah, it's coming from there. But then I overwrite it. I overwrite it when I do the other example. When I did the other example, I did. Now it's hard-coded to catalog. It's hard-coded to catalog. Why do I allow it to pass it down? Oh, because I need to pass it to the DB instance to be created. So I don't need it. I don't need it. It's called database. Maybe the size of the database. Actually, I can do a map. This is for dev or prod, and choose for them. So they don't have to pass it if I have a default integer. Default. How do I do defaults? I don't know. I don't have defaults here. Let me look for example. I think it's. I have a bunch of examples. I don't want to. If you look at Crossplane on EKS, we have a bunch of examples. And I remember I did an example with a bunch of defaults. I think this is the last one I did. Oh, the definitions are up here, I think. Yeah, pick this one. Property. Yeah, it's just property debug default. Yeah, that's what I thought. Default. I'll make it, I don't know, 10 gigs. I make it 2 gigs, like the other example. So they don't have to give it to me. So it's not required. Oh, yeah, it's required, but I'm going to give an example. It's not required. It's confusing. So I really don't need it if I have a default. Just need. So nothing's required. Oh, this guy is required. Did I remove that? Oh, this is a bug. So you have to give me this because I don't have a default. It's working. So these two. That's it. We have a definition. Test it. Okay. Oh, this is the problem. If I'm editing stuff, I create a new stuff. This is a copy. This is a copy. So I cannot do my shenanigans here. I don't want to create a file here and then there. So this is why you have the shell. Where's the shell? 16 seconds. I don't know why. I'm creating complete delete and creating the East Coast. It's insane that this takes so long. I think it's my networking. But I don't know. Oh, one thing I can do. Let me see. Debug this a little bit. I can do k get namespaces overnight. 9k. Yeah, we'll get namespaces dash v10. This should print a lot of information. There's something here at the bottom, I think. Where is it? This is all this. There's one that prints here. So this one says DNS lookup. 2 milliseconds. Trace style succeeded. DNS lookup. It was something around processing time and response body. thought there was returning cache discovery. Returning cache discovery. Returning cache discovery. Returning cache discovery. Huh. I bet cache discovery in this folder. So I found a bunch of stuff. So it's not here in the cache on my end, I bet. So if I do same thing here, time keeps it there, namespaces dash depend. And then it stays there. Running cache discovery, and that discovery, run tripper, blah blah blah. Name it 500, and then came back. So DNS lookup. This is 12,000 milliseconds DNS lookup. The DNS handshake. I'll be damned. I found the issue. 16 freaking seconds. Server processing, da da da. So the server, let's check. This is fast. And I compare this. I don't know you, but I like debugging stuff. And this one took 2 seconds. So the TLS handshake of this looks like what? Where is it? Look at this. HTTP statistics. Yes, look up. 0 milliseconds. Handshake, 12 duration, 60 milliseconds. There you go. It's DNS. It's always DNS. So funny, people joke about that. And what is my resolve to this DNS lookup for blah blah blah, resolve to this, da da da. And then in here, DNS lookup for blah blah, resolve to 10 to the 10 dot something. Because I mean this cloud9 is sitting in the same VPC. So the IP address of it is a 10 dot. So it's like nothing. And then mine, I can point. Oh, what is DNS configure on this machine? Do I have dig? To cat etc resolve 192.168 5.3 180 105.5. Who are those machines? Is that the VM? The Finch VM? I don't have the network. What about if I change that to, let's say, Google or Cloudflare? I cannot point it to. Amazon doesn't have a public DNS. I wish they have. So 11188. Pass this. Let me go. Ah. That could be a comment. Name server. Eight. Ah. Sudo? Oh, this thing doesn't have sudo. That's good. Oh, man. Learner. Sudo. Sudo command not found. Su? Slash? Find out how. Well, let me do this. ns lookup. And does it take to come back? Say cache. It does something. Not here. What the hell? I can install. I'm going to measure. I mean, if I run this on my computer, this thing should come fast. Yeah, like nothing to come back with that answer. So that's the problem. And the server that I'm using is IPv6. The same thing for dig. The dig. That's super fast. The answer. Using which server? Answer from where does it print? This thing doesn't print. What is it using? Oh, dig 9. No. I do dig at 8.8.8.8. It's the answer. Super fast. Okay. I'm going to fix this because it's a pain in the ass. Oh, sorry, pain in the butt. So I'll stop the live here because there's a meeting in 10 minutes. Actually, there's a meeting in 10 minutes if you want to attend to the EKS workshop contributors. So the information should be here somewhere. Meeting second Thursday, which is today, AM Pacific time. Showing web link. Sorry about that. Well, if you want, yeah. Anyway, and then the Google Doc is here. If you want to know what's going on. So today, I was going to mention this, and I was going to bring up an issue and to ask somebody has problems with that. I'm going to take Docker. Anyway, I'm going to end it up here because the meeting is about to start. And if you're there and you watch this, say hello. Let me know if the camera's still working. Yeah, still working. If you couldn't see any squat on this stuff, let me know. Next time I will set up 1080 resolution on my 40-inch monitor and do it like that. But it's only 1 hour. Um, and we can continue on the crossplane thing if you want to see it. Okay. I think no one was watching on Twitch or YouTube. Okay. Wow, I was talking for 1 hour and 11 minutes. My wife says I'm very quiet. She's the talking one. Anyway, see you folks. Follow me on Twitter. Ping me on Twitter. Tell me if you like this type of sessions. We can also do next session. It'll be less intro, just like let's grab let's debug stuff or not debug. Let's try to build something as I would build something with debug. But I'll continue on this later. Maybe I stream later today. See you folks. Bye.